today on Divorce Court.
I'm here at divorce court because I can't trust my significant other, Jonathan.
I hold things back from Angela because I'm not sure as to how she's gonna take them.
Jonathan has cheated on me twice. I went through his phone, I found out he was talking to other women.
Angela thinks I'm meeting up with other women when in fact, she's the one who was meeting up with people.
If Jonathan doesn't change, I'm done. I'm over, I don't wanna work it out anymore. This is it.
I feel like this is a good opportunity for Angie to see another point of view, and maybe it will help her understand. I want to marry Angela, but I'm fearful that this relationship is over.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Here today with Angela, and please pronounce your last name.
Oladiji.
Oladiji and Jonathan Jilks.
Correct.
Hallelujah. Ms. Oladiji and Mr. Jilks, you two have been engaged for 1.5 years. You've been together for 2.5 years, but you're not quite sure if you should get married. You have one child together, and so you've come before me. You've filled out your compatibility test, which we will talk about later. You've given me your marriage license with permission to tear it up should I think your union is ill-advised. Ms. Oladiji, let me start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why you're here today?
Well, I'm here today because I don't trust him. I don't trust him because he's always withholding information from me. He's always telling everyone our business. He doesn't tell me the same stuff that he tells everyone else. And the cheating, he's cheated on me a couple of times.
Tell me about the first time you caught him cheating on you.
The first time I caught him cheating on me was the day before Thanksgiving, and he was supposed to be going to West Virginia with his family, and he was supposed to be leaving that night, like 5 in the morning. He didn't call me on Thanksgiving, and I was looking for him. He didn't call me to say Happy Thanksgiving or anything. We were spending Thanksgiving separately. So that morning I called him. He didn't answer the phone. Jonathan always answered the phone. He didn't answer the phone, so I called his roommate. He was like, oh, Jonathan's here, but he can't come to the phone right now. And I'm like, why can't he come to the phone? Jonathan had our car, so he didn't think I would pop up. I grabbed my brother's car, and I zoomed all the way over there to see what was going on. I knocked on the door. No one answered the door. I was walking to the car. Jonathan followed me behind the car. I snatched his phone from him. He snatched my phone from me. I got in the car, locked the door, and I went through his phone. Mm-hmm. After I went through his phone, I seen that he had met up with somebody that night. He went to go pick somebody up, and she was still there. Like, he never dropped her off or anything. She was still there. I asked him about it, and he kept telling me nobody was in the house. And then he finally admitted to it.
Messed up. Mr. Jilks, what do you have to say about that, sir?
She didn't tell the whole story. So basically, I got in my car to drive and pick my older sister up so we can drive to West Virginia. She jumps in my car, snatches my phone out, hops out, and runs. So I get out and I grab her purse. She just disappears. I don't know where she ended up. So I end up going through her purse, and I found her phone. So I'm going through it. I see things.
What kind of things did you see?
Oh, I seen her talking to multiple males, flirting, sexting.
Were you doing that?
Yes, I messed up. I was.
Okay, so Mr. Jilks, were you messing around on her?
I was.
At the time?
I was. I'll be honest about that.
So you were both messing around on each other?
We both were wrong.
Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
Did that continue to be the case for a while?
No. After she found out about that, I was like, you know what? Because I wasn't really messing with other women. Mm-hmm. This woman that I was dealing with, we met at the same time. I met her, and I met back up with Miss Oladiji. So I didn't know how to break it off yet. Mm-hmm. So once she found out, I just ended it, and I just went on from there.
Right. Did you get over her cheat as well? Was that resolved at the same time, or do you still have concerns that she may be unfaithful?
Well, the way my faith works, I believe that she ended it. She said she's not going to cheat. She's done doing that, and I believe her.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I understand that in the course of becoming a couple, both of you realized that you both liked women, and you thought that polyamory, having another woman in the relationship, might resolve the trust issues. Is that accurate?
Yes, I mean...
Why don't you tell me how that conversation went?
Well, I mean, we always talked about it before we officially got in a relationship. That was something that I was interested in. And, you know, I figured that he wouldn't cheat. That would be okay. So that's why we...
How did that work out?
It didn't work out really well. I mean, it's still not working out because, I mean, he's still talking to people behind my back. He doesn't tell me anything. I thought we had some rules established with it, and...
Is he sleeping with the women that you were going to be in a threesome with alone?
No, well, one of the females he slept with before we met. So he wasn't supposed to bring her to our relationship. It was supposed to be someone we both didn't know.
Mr. Jokes, do you have any commentary on that?
Well, she's kind of correct. I met up with someone from my past and we chatted about the possibility of her joining this relationship, but she kind of wasn't into women, so I fell away from talking to her.
Right.
I ended up bringing it back up with her in another conversation.
Are y'all ready to get married? I mean, it seems that you're looking to play. Ain't nothing wrong with playing. But why are you considering marriage?
Jonathan's my best friend. He's not selfish. He's always there. He always has my back. He's a provider, and he's a great guy. Besides that,
those are good reasons. Those are good reasons. So let me change gears just a bit. Mr. Jukes, you say she has an anger problem of such magnitude that unless it is handled, marriage is off the table. So I want you to tell me about what's going on with that.
Angela's anger is over the top. Like, that's my car. She took a stick to the back of it and beat it while I was sitting in the car. She destroyed 4 of my televisions. She destroyed keyboard, phones, you name it, she broke it.
Ms. Oladipo, has he got that correct? Mr. Jokes, why don't you tell me about her anger and give me some examples of what she's done and why she's done it?
Okay, well, Angela's anger is over the top. Like, you know the song 0 from 100 real quick? That describes her totally. All right, I have pictures also of damage that she has caused. She,
Well, let's look at the pictures of the damage he caused.
That's my car. She took a stick to the back of it and beat it while I was sitting in the car.
What was she mad about that day?
We were having a conversation, and I guess she didn't like how it was going, so she got out, slammed my door, got a stick, and just started beating on the car.
What else has she done?
She took one of my stereo headsets and just bowled it down the hallway. She destroyed 4 of my televisions. She grabbed my Xbox One, raised it over her head, and just banged it on a metal rail. She destroyed keyboard, phones, you name it, she broke it.
How often does she get angry like that?
It's once a week at minimum.
Ms. Oladipo, has he got that correct?
Some of it.
Okay, you tell me what it's like.
Jonathan doesn't listen to me. Like, every time I'm trying to express myself or tell him what I don't like, my views on things, he just doesn't, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Does he not listen, or does he not respond correctly, or does he not let you talk?
He listens, and then he just do it again, over and over. Jonathan has female friends, only female friends. He doesn't have any male friends. And I find that to be a problem because he slept with all of them at least once.
That's false.
At least once, maybe one. And I'm like, if they can't be cool with me, or if they can't be friends with me, and they're angry with me, and they're starting drama with me, then what type of friends are they?
Mr. Jukes, do you have friends that start drama with her?
No, I don't. If anyone speaks to me, Miss Oladipo gets angry. If I speak to anyone, it's a problem. I'm not flirting with anyone. I just say, hey, how's life? To an ex-coworker or someone I grew up with or a friend of mine. I just check on them. I have friends who are single mothers, and before I even got in a relationship, I give them advice or, oh, you can't get your son to
Does she know
sleep.
these women?
She doesn't know them per se, but...
Can I tell you something if you really want to be married?
Yes.
If you really want to be married, you have to conduct your marriage from the inside out.
Right.
And it has to be like, this is our country. And you can't have alliances with people that your wife can't be in on. Do you understand what I'm saying? It won't work. I'm just telling you, it won't work. It won't work for a variety of reasons. Number one is because people will poke at your marriage if they have that kind of end.
Right.
And number two, it makes your wife insecure. So that don't work.
Yes.
You got that?
Yes.
Okay.
To piggyback off of that, I actually have blocked these people she doesn't want me to speak with.
Does he do
I
that?
don't talk to them.
He's blocked them. As soon as we get in an argument, he'll unblock them.
That's false.
And friend them. And he vents to them. He tell them my business. They have like this emotional.
Can he talk to you about a circumstance that you are not in agreement with, and there be an actual conversation as opposed to a shouting match?
When he talks to me, he doesn't give me a chance. He say, oh, I'm gonna overreact. But he's never given me another chance after that. He just stopped telling me stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I might not know how to express myself, and that's probably because of the way I grew up. My dad is Nigerian, so I grew up not being able to express any emotion at all whatsoever. Not a good emotion, not a bad emotion. So when I'm trying to explain things to Jonathan and tell him how I feel, I can't express it. So instead of putting my hands on him, I will grab something and break it. I really don't know how to express myself, and I'm constantly telling him what the problem is, what's wrong. I'm telling him the things I don't like and what I do like, and he's constantly doing the things that I don't like.
Ms. Oladiji, I just want you to know that you've had an epiphany today, and it's a wonderful thing to have an epiphany. Mm-hmm. You now know why you get so angry, but I'm going to teach you that the only two choices aren't tear up the Xbox or hit him. There's a third choice that is available to you if you so choose. It's a job to get to that third choice, but it's available to you. You don't have to be a victim of this anger anymore. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes.
Because it's hurting you. You know, it's beating you to death.
It is.
You don't want it, do you? Let's beat it to death instead of him. How about that?
Right.
I think you are being owned by a ghost of your past, and that it is managing your day, obliterating opportunities. If you can't get on top of this anger, no relationship you ever have with anybody is ever gonna work. Mr. Jokes, why don't you give me a 30-second professional level? Why don't you tell me why Miss Oladiji is the woman for you?
Miss Oladiji is the most awesome supporter. Like, she has my back 100%, and I know this. I can trust her. She's a good mother. She's a good woman. She's fun to be around. She's, I just love her. We're best friends. We can hang out without any problems. When everything's good, it's the best, you know? And I'd like to continue our relationship and take it further.
And the one overriding impediment for you is her anger, is that accurate?
Her anger and attitude, yes.
Ms. Oladiji, what is your one overriding issue is his faithfulness?
Trust and defending me.
What do you mean by defending you?
Well, with his family. And
you don't think he defends you?
Just recently, but before that, no, he haven't defended me whatsoever. Like, he said that his family didn't like drama. Mm-hmm. They would constantly invite his ex over to all the events, and I would sit in the car sometimes because I don't like her. It was clear to everyone that I didn't like her. And I would sit in the car or not come to some of the events.
Because one of his exes was there.
I knew she was going to be there, and they knew we didn't like each other. So if you don't like drama, why do you invite two people that don't like each other?
They had reasons because they had ties with that person that were there. And those were the reasons. Ms. Oladiji, I'm going to spend the rest of my time talking to you because I like you. And I think you are being owned by a ghost of your past, and that it is managing your day, stealing your joy, it is destroying your moments, it is obliterating opportunities because you are driven by and are such a victim of this anger that you can't control. And if you can't get on top of this anger, and if you can't get on top of that fear that you have for him, no relationship you ever have with anybody is ever gonna work. Because I'm gonna tell you, my son brings home a person who beats up appliances. I ain't gonna like her. I'm gonna tell her right there, I ain't gonna like her. Okay. You know, you're gonna spend thousands of dollars over your lifetime rebuying things that you've already bought because you're not in charge of yourself. And you gotta be in charge of yourself. And once you're in charge of yourself, you will not believe how free you'll feel. And I'm gonna give you that. Mr. Jokes, I want to say this to you because I have more to say to her than I do to you, but I don't want to leave here with the belief that, oh, you were all wrong and you were all right.
Right.
To the extent that you have a fearful woman, to the extent that you have an angry woman, you do have a fearful woman because anger is really just fear and frustration all dressed up in military garb, impersonating power. That's all that is. But you have the job to make her secure.
Right.
And in order to do that, you have to stop doing those things that make her feel insecure. And part of that is dabbling with other women. Even if you're not having sex with them, the dabbling in and of itself is disrespectful. And if you want her to conquer her anger, you have to assist her in so doing. And I'm just going to leave that on you, and you got to live that on your heart. If you really want her, you're going to have to help her in that job. Ms. Ola DG, I used to get angry all the time. And one day, I was sitting, and I got mad. This guy hardly even knew me. My mother was with, I'm not that, and you got did nothing about that. And when I got done, I wore myself out.
Yeah.
When I got done, my mother said, now that man, what was his name? And I said, oh, I don't know what his name was. He says, you let some guy you don't even know steal that hour from you. And she sat back and let me soak that in. Every moment in time is an option and opportunity. Nobody commands it but you. You may feel like it's an irresistible urge because your body's used to it. You know, all that adrenaline and cortisol gets to flowing in your brain, and you believe you have to relieve that pressure that you feel by tearing something up. But all of that is just a fake. It's a fade. It's a red herring. It ain't real. Because that adrenaline and that cortisol, that's for if a lion jumps out. Right. That's what that's for. So you can jump up, jump down, move. That's what that's for. It's not for talking to your man with. But that's what you're using it for. So you got to realize this is just a chemical reaction, and I'm going to let it go. No, seriously. And don't look at it like I have a right to be angry or I have a reason to be angry. We all have a right to be angry, and we all have a reason to be angry. I'm not telling you you're wrong or you're bad. I'm telling you you being held hostage, and I want to set you free. You with me?
Yes, I am.
Are you going to stretch out your hand and try to touch that freedom?
I am.
You're going to raise your hands and surrender whenever that feeling comes after you.
Yes.
And you're not going to act a fool.
Yes, I'm not.
I am not going to tear this up, this license, but I'm not going to give it to you either. I need you to get your situation straight, but you will find a way to love yourselves towards marriage later down the line. But that ain't now. You got that?
Yes.
This matter is adjourned.
I love Angela. We're best friends. We've been trying to get married for the last year and a half, and I just want to get over this hump, this anger, the attitude. I just want that to end.
I do still want to be with him, but I feel like we have to discuss more about the relationship, more in depth about everything that's going on, just instead of just my anger. It's not just my anger, that's the entire relationship.